something that you've not really justified and you are not really sure about.
What's up, guys? People will not always be on the same rhythm. So I don't know if my mic is on. I'm just playing. Guys, talking about breaking generational traumatic cycle, I'm going to be giving you more details about how you can work on it, how you can become a better person. In case you've not been watching our episode, I would like you to catch up with the previous episode where I gave you a little bit of introduction into how to break generational traumatic cycle. I'm going to be talking about 3 things you can also do to help yourself. In my last episode, I mentioned something around identification and acceptance. In this episode, I'm going to be mentioning more things around what you can do and how you can do it. Number 1 is the power of conscious.
No, God, please, no!
Consciousness, the power of consciousness. There's a place of you being conscious that you intentionally want to stop something, you intentionally want to break something. Somebody once said something that actually resonates with me. The person said, if you see a problem in a particular place, it's because you are the solution. If you are not the solution, then you will not see a problem in that place. So if you really want to help yourself to break generational traumatic cycles, one of the things you should do is you should be conscious of it every day, that this is what you want to break, this is what you are bringing solutions to. So if you are not seeing it that way, there's no way. You unconsciously, you just find yourself doing the same thing. I'm telling you, you just find yourself doing the same thing. But when you are conscious, and one of the things that reminds you that you are conscious, or one of the things that puts you in the state of consciousness, is the fact that you keep telling yourself every day that I want to break this thing. I am working towards becoming the best at this thing. I am working towards becoming better at this thing. You remind yourself about it every day. You remind yourself in what you do. Those are things that drive you. So when they say somebody is driven, one of the things you will use to know that that person is driven is because that person is intentional about what he or she does to break a particular traumatic cycle. Number 2 is you have to start setting healthy boundaries. I mean, maybe people don't know this, that healthy boundaries is actually important when it comes to breaking traumatic cycles. Like, I mean, if you find yourself in a space whereby these are the things that is triggering what is happening, and you see that thing repeating itself because those things are triggering it again in your life, my dear, it's time for you to flee. When the Bible says flee from every appearances of evil, it's not just sin. Sometimes it is things that trigger what is bad in you, things that trigger traumatic experiences in you, things that trigger traumatic experience cycle in you. You run, you flee away from it. That's what you do. So when you know that this is the things that trigger, or these are the things that trigger things like that, one thing you need to do is just, look for a way to set healthy boundaries. You don't have to be rude about your boundaries. You don't have to be bad about your boundaries. You don't have to be aggressive about your boundaries. Just set healthy boundaries with you. For example, there's a way you can say no without having to fight with anybody. There's a way you can say no without having to get involved into an issue with anybody. Just a simple polite no can stop a lot of things. Just a simple polite I'm sorry can break a lot of things. Just a simple polite okay, what's the solution, can just break a lot of things. So you have to set healthy boundaries. Did I just say so again? Don't mind me. Don't mind, but back to what I was saying, just set healthy boundaries when you're breaking generational traumatic cycle. Number 3 is, as you're setting healthy boundaries, you are creating a kind of consciousness, because you know you're on a journey and you're breaking something, and you know that what you're breaking will lead you to a bigger version of yourself. It's going to open you up to your better person, the beauty of who you are as a person. Another thing you should do is that you should understand the power of good association. Sometimes people don't know that association has a lot to tell about your traumatic cycle. Yes, you look like the people you work with. Somebody said anybody that works with a dog will eat shit with the dog. Sometimes if you're not careful, it's both you and the dog that will continue to eat the shit. I don't know how to explain that proverb. That proverb is confused because if I use my dialect now, I can really explain better. But then what I'm trying to say is that you have to be conscious of the people that you surround yourself with in order to begin to look like what you determine or what you want to break and become. So if you don't work with the right people, there's no way you are going to start seeing that there is a need for you to break this, there is a need for you to work on this, there's a need for you to work on that. But when you see it as a need to work in the right space with the right people, you start seeing some things break. You start seeing some mentality break. You start saying you have to intentionally expose yourself to the right people. I tell you, you can't break traumatic circle with the same people doing the same thing repeatedly. It's not possible. Sometimes some people say, you are wicked. Some people say, when you do that, or some people say maybe you are too principled or you are a hard person when you do some things. It's not because you are hard. Sometimes it's just because you are breaking a particular circle and you don't want to be part of those stories. You don't want to be part of those incidents. You don't want to be part of that wound again. You don't want anything that is going to trigger you to be or repeat the same thing at that particular time again. And I hope these 3 points will help you to see what you can do to break your generational traumatic cycle wherever you are, however you're listening to me right now. That thing that you've decided in your mind from our last episode that you want to work on, you want to break, this is the time to start it with these few tips that I'll be giving you guys. I'll see you guys in my next episode where I'll be sharing more to you about generational traumatic cycle. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm still your psychotherapist.